Hello guys, Brandon Carey here, and today we are actually doing it. We are going to start playing the fourth Halo game? No, no, it's not the fourth Halo game, but we are playing Halo 4. Um, hey Cody, hey John Halo. And I remembered to actually install the game ahead of time this time. I literally checked an hour ago to make sure it was installed. And we are going to play on normal difficulty. I have been told through semi-reliable sources that I was supposed to play Halo Wars 1 and 2 before playing this, but honestly, there was no universe in which that was going to happen. So we are going to play Halo 4 just directly. Hopefully let me do subtitles this time. We'll see. Hi, John. Hi, war criminal.
Tell me about the children.
Hi, war criminal.
Dr. Halsey.
She's a war criminal.
Everything.
You kidnapped them.
Children's minds are more easily accepting of indoctrination. Their bodies more adaptable to augmentation. The result was the ultimate soldier. And because of our success, when the Covenant invaded, we were ready.
She technically saved humanity, but let's, like, that doesn't excuse what she did.
Dr. Halsey, you're bending history for your own favor, and you know it. You developed the Spartans to crush human rebellion, not to fight the Covenant.
Exactly.
When one human world after another fell, when my Spartans were all that stood between humanity and extinction, nobody was concerned about why they were originally built.
So you feel in the end your choices were justified.
I am the interrogator in this scene, yes, because there's no justification for what she did.
My work saved the human race.
She is an irredeemable monster.
Do you think the Spartans' lack of basic humanity helped?
It's not you, Kelly. The flickering... Something's wrong with the OBS. I'll probably have to fix it in a second.
You're something else.
Records show Spartans routinely exhibited mildly sociopathic tendencies, difficulty with socialization, and
The
verbalization.
records show efficient behavior operating in hazardous situations. I supplied.
I'll have to
the
restart
tools to
OBS in a second,
maintain
but we'll do this
that
cutscene first.
efficiency.
Do you believe the Master Chief succeeded because he was, at his core, broken?
That's a leading question.
To do with this. You want to replace him?
The Master Chief is dead.
His file reads missing in action.
As every Spartan's file does. That's a thing.
Spartans never die.
Your mistake is seeing Spartans as military hardware. My Spartans are humanity's next step. Our destiny as a species. Do not underestimate them. But most of all, do not underestimate him.
I'm still putting you in prison for war crimes. But yeah, there's a thing. The Spartans don't die. They get IMIA because they can't afford... Because humanity can't afford to have that PR nightmare in the middle of a war. I'm going to restart OBS. I'll be right back. And we should be back. I still see a flickering in my screen. Hopefully... Okay, that's going to become a problem. So... Here's the thing. The flickering is only on OBS. It is not on the actual, the feed I'm seeing in-game. So, let us Here, what we're going to do is we're going to delete desktop capture and create a new instance of desktop capture. See if that resolves the issue. Looks like it did. We'll see if the flickering continues. If it does, I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. It looks like it is. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to live with the flickering, unfortunately. I can see if I can fix this. This is... Let's see if we can do anything to change properties. No, it's just flickering. That's weird. Forward into dawn. Oh, this is right after Halo 3 finishes up? Oh yeah, it's a couple years. So I guess Chief's been sleeping this whole time while the world has been going on around him. -Sierra 0117. Thank God for the subtitles. To answer the question, Cody, we are playing. You're asking for playing with remastered graphics. We are playing in the Master Chief Collection, so I presume we are playing with remastered graphics and not with what was around in the Xbox at the time. But I can double check in the menu. Video. We're doing with whatever the default is. Oh no. Her boyfriend's gonna die. Or her boyfriend's coming back to life, actually. Yeah, this looks like the base graphics. I tend to favor frame rate over graphics whenever I have the chance.
I need you.
Cortana's face got a lot more detailed all of a sudden. Save Martha. Oh boy.
Hey. Easy. Been out for a while.
Where are we?
We're still adrift on the dawn.
Why did you wake me?
Hang on. Bringing your systems online now. I rewrote your ship's firmware while you were out.
You've been busy.
Activating the ship's gravity generators.
You always do recalibration at the start of every Halo game. It's required.
You need to pull the manual release.
Seems like old times.
Ready to get back to work?
I thought you'd never ask.
There's something weird about Cortana's face. I'm not entirely sure what. I don't know if I like it.
Our best bet to figure out who's boarding us is the observation deck, 4 floors up.
Could it be a rescue team?
Wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah, there's something odd about the way Cortana's face looks in this game, and I don't know what it is, but it's bothering me just a little. That's the first thing I notice, and Master Chief is also clearly drunk because the movement controls seem a little wonky.
This is the service record.
Oh, we got a record. Cool. And a Chivo. She does, now that you guys are mentioning it, look a little bit like Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. Holy shit. Yeah, the more that now that you guys are saying it,
How long was I out?
I do see the resemblance.
4 years, 7 months, 10 days.
Somebody should have found us by now.
4 years, 7 months, like five years later. Yeah, that's definitely it's probably the extra. What it probably honestly is the extra detail they've added to her, because of the generational console leap.
What's that?
Sensor scan, high intensity. Doesn't match any known patterns.
How close are we to the observation deck?
It's directly above us.
All right, let's keep going. Yeah, this is very definitely like. Cody is probably right in the chat. I will probably get used to it
Doors look sealed tight.
as I play, because I do that with all sorts of graphical leaps with characters I'm familiar with.
Be
Oh,
careful.
Crate, QTE, I love them. Gotta love them.
Lost pressure.
Oh, this is still 360. This was still 360. Holy shit, you're right. I assume this was Xbox One. But,
Watch out.
this was 360. Also, yeah, I suppose we don't see Cortana's face that often.
Realized the ship had deteriorated so badly.
This is kinda... I'm glad I don't have vertigo, because if I did, this would be an actual problem. That is that would be disorienting. Oh, hi! Bye!
A lot can happen in 4 years. Either way, he's probably not alone. We should be careful.
2012. Well, yeah, I guess this Master Chief Collection was 2016. So that would check. Gotta love a good old sneak attack. Oh, this rifle doesn't feel great, but actually, you know what? It's fine. I was just expecting more of a sniper kind of thing than rapid fire burst rifle. That was a little unexpected, but this actual weapon is not that bad. It's a cool gun.
That's the last of them.
No ammo
Find
though.
the override for the blast shield so we can see what we're up against.
God. Halo 4 was 2012. It was an Xbox 360 game. That is hard for me to believe, because this
Good news is these Covenant aren't outfitted like standard military. It's possible they just
feels
came
like an
across a
Xbox
rogue
One
salvage
game.
ship.
Does that mean Halo 5 was the only new Halo game on Xbox One?
We might have stumbled into an entire Covenant fleet.
Maybe they haven't recognized us.
That's one possibility. Landing craft flanking us.
Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 were the only Xbox One Halo games. Holy shit. Normally I would wait for them to shoot at me first, but this is a first-person shooter, and we're already committing several war crimes just by existing, so... Ooh, that's a slower retime than I'm used to. Or recharge time. Halo Infinite probably will come out on, oh.
We need to get off this ship.
We've got bigger problems. We've got a cruiser on an intercept course. Head for the elevator banks.
Didn't the ship sensors say we still had
Weapons
systems
online.
Yes, but since the ship was torn in half, we can't access the weapon stations. We'll have to fire them manually from the outer hull.
Yeah, I guess if I had to play Halo Infinite, I probably would play it on PC. Just straight up. Because getting a next-gen console at this point seems like a lost cause. I would love to have a PS5, but that's not going to happen probably within this year. Despite the fact that Ratchet & Clank is coming out this summer, which does piss me off. Just a little bit. But you do what you got to do. And that means no Ratchet & Clank for me until probably next year. Yeah, next-gen like, compared to graphics cards, you're right, Cody. Like, a next-gen console probably is going to be more accessible to you than a graphics card at this point. For an all decent price. That's probably true, and that annoys me again, just ever so slightly. Fucking love cryptocurrency. It's the best. I love it so much. It means I can't play games that I want to play. I love crypto. Oh, good luck with that, Cody. Getting a 3070 graphics card. Fucking good luck with that.
That missile's gonna be one heck of a surprise.
That's gonna be tough because those things are expensive, and if you can find them, if assuming you can find them at all, because they're expensive and hard to come by. But so far this is doing. I mean, this is a pretty good introduction. Like, I'm having fun. This is the Halo game that I am. This is the Halo gameplay that I expect and crave. Of course, from what I understand, the game plays well, as a lot of people's objections come mostly from the story angle of it. As far as I know, anyway. We'll see how my opinion unfolds as we play through the game.
These covenants seem more fanatical than the ones we fought before.
Oh, I do remember reading about this. These are Covenant, like rogues. Like, they believe they are the true Covenant. They are the outcast Brotherhood of Steel. This plasma pistol sounds weird. It's hard to describe, but the plasma pistol, it sounds like I'm shooting a pop gun?
How far to the missile?
We're just about there.
Yeah, the rest of the sound design's been great. It's just the plasma pistol in particular seems to be something weird about the sound it makes when I fire. It doesn't feel like lasery enough. That's top sound design criticism from me, Brandon Carey, because I know my sounds. And that plasma pistol is definitely not lasery enough. Yeah, they sound like a human gun. They don't sound like the exotic weapons that you'd expect a Covenant soldier to be wielding. They sound like this sounds like a human gun. This sounds like I'm firing a pop gun. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's like I can still get I still feel like I am firing, but it's just off. It's not what I expect. It's not bad, it's not what I expect. Concussion rifle. Watching the Halo veterans talk about Halo in the chat is amusing, because I've never played Halo 5, so I can't comment on Halo 5 sound design, but there's a discussion as to whether or not...
The auxiliary launch station should be to your left, out of the airlocks. You'll have to prime the launch for ignition.
Cortana.
It's nothing. Just get to the launch station.
Actually, we'll keep the concussion gun. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. As they die, they go anti-grav.
Chief, you need to find the missile controls.
Well, you're gonna snipe me. I'll just ambush you. How's that sound? So Cody's asking me when I am playing RE8, and I actually am talking currently with my Spooky Boy cohorts from that series over if and when we play that on stream. Because if we are going on stream, and it seems like the conclusion is that, like, once I'm finished Halo 4, assuming everyone else has finished RE8 at that point, I will do it. And I will probably be going in blind.
There's the launch station.
So, currently, unless something like world-shattering comes up, the plan is to play Resident Evil 8, and that'll be a blind playthrough for me after Halo 4 is finished. We'll see if that schedule maintains, because it depends on not just me, but my my friends' availability.
The last burst jam. The missile won't fire until
But
it's cleared.
that is the current
Get
plan.
down there.
And as of right now, like the only I do want to it is going to be a blind playthrough by and large, except I should preface that with the caveat that I did last night play the demo of RE8. The demo where you're only allowed to play for an hour before the game shuts itself off. That was close.
You did it. Get back.
I actually did forget I have a sprint button. Thank you for reminding me, Cody. But I do plan to play RE8, and in the current plans after the blind playthrough, I have it. I own it. I actually just bought it today. It's installed, but I haven't touched it.
The Covenant weren't the ones scanning us.
So, now can we worry about the giant metal planet?
I guess.
We need a gravity well to pull us inside the surface. We've got to hurry. The second we cross the dome's event horizon, its atmosphere is going to tear us apart.
Where are the closest escape pods?
After
Oh, there's the spread button.
I'm tagging the closest airlock. Go!
Yeah, we're bringing the Spooky Boys back, or we're trying to. It might be just me and David, but Andre might show up too if he is free. But we will do RE8. That is the plan. Oh, bye!
All but one of the grav generators just went dark.
Just keep me pointed at that vehicle bay.
Okay, bye!
We're almost there.
And there we are.
Hold on. We're caught in the gravity well.
Can you track the escape pods?
Negative. Look out!
Something I am noticing is that, it looks like they're doing the thing that, a lot of shooters do, but Halo hasn't really done up until now, where they are avoiding cutting you away from the first-person perspective. They do not want to show you a cutscene. They want to show Chief's viewpoint as much as possible. And I don't, like, that's an interesting way of going about it. Because they haven't really done that in other Halo games before. Usually, like, there's a delineation between first person, you're in the game, and third person, we're watching a cutscene, and never the twain shall meet. And here they're blending that a bit more, which is an interesting touch. Just from first observation. Well, or I can just be a liar, and the game will call me on my bullshit.
Where are we?
But
Checking coordinate impact data.
We have asked you to give up your family, your childhood, your future.
Cortana,
I'm sorry. It's the crash. I'm fine.
something was wrong even before we left the Dawn.
Chief? Really? I'm fine.
Cortana.
I was put into service 8 years ago.
8 years.
AIs deteriorate after 7, Chief.
Halsey.
Chief.
We need to find Halsey.
Chief, please.
She made you. She can fix you.
I won't recover from rampancy, Chief.
If we can just get back to Earth and find Halsey, she can fix this.
Don't make a girl a promise you can't keep.
This is actually a pretty good scene.
We need to move.
This is good. This is good stuff. Like, it's giving Chief a character that he, up until now, hasn't really had.
Much better than we did.
How many ships made it through the roof?
Plenty. Why?
We still need a ride home.
Yeah, because they established deterioration stuff in previous Halo games, memory serves, right? Where AIs can only last so long before they just, Or maybe it was someone telling me it, not the games. It's hard to tell with Halo lore. Do you remember reading that, like, AIs in Halo, eventually they just kind of start processing so much at once that they literally can't keep themselves together? And that's what happening to Cortana right now, or started to happen to Cortana, is that she's going rampant, which means that her brain is literally incapable of processing her emotions and her personality. And so it just kind of goes into overdrive and crashes. Covenant Carbine. Okay. And that's a pretty good plot hook. That's a pretty good plot thread to hook us with at the start of the game. Because after all of this time, you do start to care for Cortana. The way, like, any player tends to, like, imprint upon the protagonists of the games they're playing. You are literally looking at the world through their eyes. So it's natural that there's a form of empathy there, which some games exploit, like, famously...
I'm picking up a faint transmission on the high band.
Covenant?
I don't think so. The pattern's different. I'll try to triangulate its position.
Famously, The Last of Us Part 1 did that with Joel, where Joel was an irredeemable, like, very vile, awful human being. But because you spend so much time as him, people start to be sympathetic, and that's a fairly natural response to someone like whose role you've been embodying for long periods of time. That's not an uncommon response. You just gotta remember that the person you're playing as is a dick. In that case,
I'm still in one piece. Nice to see
a dick you can understand, but a dick nonetheless. And so, since we spent all of this time playing as Chief and Cortana, you already have that investment more or less built in before the game even starts. So they don't have to do any extra work to make you care about Cortana. Like, she's Cortana, you naturally care about her.
Back in the wreckage. Chief? About my condition? I didn't want to mention it, seeing as how it's a complete long shot, but since you brought it up, it is possible that getting home could help me find a solution for my rampancy.
How?
Well, as far as I know, I'm the only AI ever generated from living tissue. A clone of Dr. Halsey, to be precise.
Did I walk by another fucking warthog? I do that every fucking game.
By replicating those same conditions. But that means getting back to Halsey soon.
Every single game I walk by a car that is just straight in front of my eyes. How do I do this? Every single time. Oh. That's how, because they literally weren't in my view. Right, maybe this one will work. No, not ride. Drive. At some point, I will be able to see Halo vehicles as something other than set dressing. There's another car. See, I guess I'm just too trained from video games to see that as just set dressing and not as an actual, like, thing I can use. It's a problem. But... yeah, you're right, Cody. This is just as floaty and kinda unwieldy as the Warthog's always been. Yeah, you saw me flip, like, 6-7 times before I could get a solid landing.
firing that strange signal again. Stronger this time.
Do you think there's something to it?
I'm curious more than anything. Its behavior is odd.
Oh, Kelly, the scorpion is... I mean, you've seen how I act when I have a scorpion. It's such a good vehicle. You feel so fucking powerful. Whee! Whee! Hog wild. Looks like I'm getting dead is what actually is getting done here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna play this in a way that's semi-intelligent? Of course, Xenochrist would reference the Hog Wild level in Crash because it is a decent level. Alright. The only good covenant's a dead covenant. Don't let RB know I said that. Well, I got this machine gun, might as well make use of it, I suppose. Master Chief commits a hate crime. I mean, isn't that just Halo? I mean, isn't this whole fucking franchise a bunch of war crimes? War and hate crimes? There we go. Now all is silent. Beautiful. This franchise is a genocide campaign, Kelly. I agree. Holy shit. You kill a lot of aliens.
If we're going to hijack a ship from the Covenant, we're going to have to find where they're landing first.
I don't suppose you have a plan for that.
Yeah.
We could always ask nicely.
Asking's not my strong suit.
Every shooter is a genocide campaign. Wasn't that the joke with Uncharted 1 back in the day? Is that, like, you kill so many minorities as the white man that it's very uncomfortable? Wasn't that the big joke? Because, like, it's not wrong. There's truth to that. Just not the profit of truth. See, and they quote-unquote fixed it in Uncharted 3 by making it a bunch of white people, or a bunch of Russians. And they finally fixed it in 3 with the British, because everyone knows if you kill a Brit, it can't possibly be a hate crime. Yes. Yes, Kelly, they were the Russians in 2 and the British in 3. Both decidedly white. Yeah, and 4, they seemed at least like American adjacent, at if not actually American. But that's like the whole, like, that was the whole joke with Uncharted, is that like the first game had you killing a lot of black and Latino people. To an uncomfortable degree. Actually, the more I play with the Storm Rifle, the more I like it. It's a fun weapon. I think it's like rapid fire guns. As far as I can tell, it's a new one. I was like, how the fuck did no one hear that? Well, it could be because the storm rifle sounds like a pea shooter. You can be confused to think that might not be actual gunfire. I see a weapon, and I want it! I want it so bad!
That elite dropped his camo module. Let's have a look. I'll run a soft patch to it from the suit.
Oh.
You never know what might come in handy.
Oh, so you can armor with X. Okay, so sprint is its own button now. It's not it's not a separate power. It is its own thing. Okay, that's good to know. That is very good to know. Because in Reach, like, sprint was your power. That is a markedly improvement over how these games are played. That is a good design change.
There's that phantom signal again.
I heard something that time.
One thing 4 has over Reach.
Sentinels.
I wondered when they'd show up.
Uh-oh. Please don't try to kill us. Okay, that's not lava, that's a floor. Sprinting has helped and broken Halo, Cody? Elaborate.
Console in the back.
I'm curious, what do you mean by that? Okay, so it's broken in multiplayer. Okay. I don't give a shit about multiplayer, although... Okay, that's not true, because Halo multiplayer is like one of the ones that I was really into growing up.
It's a localized site cartographer. Okay. In service of Forerunner Shield World, designate Requiem.
Requiem. At least we know where we are now.
Let's see if it can tell us what the Covenant are so interested in.
Requiem isn't the kind of, like, biblical name I would expect.
I don't know.
But it's also a new dev team, so they can do what they want with the lore.
I'm detecting power fluctuations in several locations. I'll put them up for you. Hopefully we can find some way to get this cartographer back online.
I feel like, 'cause I'm having a great time so far. I enjoy playing these games. But I think I've spoken to people about this before, but I always got the impression that these new Halo games were pretty much doomed from the first. because to follow up...
It's all right. This energy is actually a ferroelectric data field. Your shields are just cycling in response to the chamber's charge.
Will this bring the cartographer back online?
Partially. This type of processing system usually works in parallel. We'll have to locate its twin.
So, as a development team that is trying to follow an act of one of, if not like the most beloved FPS development studio of all time, even after Destiny, with an act on that studio's own franchise, that is not an easy order to fill. Because if you just do what they did, you will be seen as nothing more than a copycat who can't get their own ideas. However, by that same token, if you go too far in making it a whole different thing, people will accuse you of it not being a proper, in quotes, Halo game. And if I had the choice of whether I had to make my own franchise or follow someone's IP, I would choose my own franchise every time, because I can't imagine having to step in to fill those shoes. That...
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday! UNSC AI Cortana to Infinity. Please respond. No response. But from the strength of that signal, the Infinity has to be close by.
the Halo Infinity?
The cartographer should be back online. We may be able to use it to track the ship's location.
But, yeah, also there's the thing where, like, once... After Reach, it's really hard to improve upon that formula without bogging it down in changes that don't really add a whole lot to the game overall. And if I was in that studio, I straight up, I do not know how I would do it. So, on some level, the fact that this game came out at all and wasn't immediately just shit-panned by everybody in the world over is, on some level, a victory. Or like a miracle. Because if...
That's it. Now quick, to the cartographer.
Because fans of Halo would have been more than eager to crucify them if this game was anything but at all decent. Like, if this game was even like just bad or like mediocre, they would have been shit on so hard. And I feel for the devs that have to follow up Bungie's act.
It doesn't want to triangulate Infinity's signal. Oh, wait. I got it.
That can't be right. Scan again.
We've already passed through one layer of the planet's surface. It's not crazy to think that someone else made it deeper inside than we did.
You mean the planet's hollow?
Let me see if I can figure out a way to reach these coordinates that doesn't involve us digging a really big hole. There's a terminus on the far side of the complex. We can portal to the planet's core from there.
What?
I don't know.
If we have a shot at getting you back to Infinity, we're taking it.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying,
And find Infinity.
Kelly, when you say that
About Infinity.
Not much. supposed to be massive, but the project was only in prototype when we left.
Oh, that's cool. Cool power. But I understand what you mean, where like it does feel, even though Microsoft and Bungie parting ways is probably ultimately for the best, it did hurt both of those.
The bridge below.
It hurt Halo as a whole, because Microsoft just they were not just gonna like let this franchise die. It's a cash cow. So if you accept as granted that there was going to be a sequel, and more or less everybody did at the time, after Halo 3, and even after Reach, then the question becomes, without Bungie at the helm, how do you follow that up? And that is not an easy question to answer. For their part, I think 343 is from what I'm seeing so far, they've done at least a pretty good job of getting the core of Halo, which is like the gameplay, the shooting, right. This game feels good to play, even if I don't like some of the sound design that they've chosen to incorporate. And as for your other point, where you wish that people would just let franchises die, and just bring new IPs out, I'm of two minds about that. Because as an example, this is kind of making me sad thinking about it, but Toys for Bob. They had a new vision for what a Crash game could be, and they acted on that vision. And while I don't wholly agree with a lot of the decisions they made in terms of the gameplay aspects of it, by and large, that game was successful. That game was a solid platformer, and a great way to reimagine Crash for a new era of platforming. And I do feel like you don't have to necessarily let franchises die, but you can't just bring them back without a game plan or a vision on where you want them to go. And that comes down also to just IP law. Because part of the problem with IP is that in any reasonable world, reasonable like IP law time frame, the people who made Halo Infinite, or the people who made Halo, Bungie, they are essentially done with the franchise. They're never going back to Halo. So in a reasonable world, after some years, maybe like it would be another 2 or 3 years after that, after now, Halo would be in public domain, so anyone can make a Halo game. Just like how, like, if we were living in a just and reasonable world, properties like Mickey Mouse, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman would all be all be public domain characters. Like, anyone would be able to make works out of them, but because of the copyright law works, you're not able to do that. Please be a good shotgun. And so, like, I agree with you that your problem, but I would say your problem isn't more of IPs dying. It's more IPs being milked by major corporations. And as a result, going in directions that are unhealthy for those franchises. And, like, in the Toys for Bob example, like, I would have loved to see what Toys for Bob's vision of the Spyro franchise was. Because I feel like they had the chops to do something really great there. But we will never see that. That will never come to pass. This is a good shotgun. Limited ammo, but a good shotgun. That dropship is pissing me off. And you're right, there was that period of Crash the Titans and all of that other, like, nonsense. But the fact is, like, if Crash has if old IPs have solid new visions behind them, they can do great. They can be made phenomenal. Of course, right now I'm also thinking about the Ace Attorney Chronicles and the case of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, well, here, I know what I need for this. Where is the rocket launcher? Okay. Go away, you piece of shit! Alright, fine. The other solution is that point. Is to take the underground. Oh, that guy's above me, I think. Yeah, I am also kind of pissed off about how, the Crash and Spyro team got nixed to make room for more Call of Duty. That genuinely bothers me in a way that I wasn't expecting it to. And I would have loved to see, like, if they had a vision for Spyro, the way that they had a vision for Crash, that would have been a phenomenal game.
Chief, the Covenant net's going crazy. They're ordering all units to converge on the tower.
I guess we got their attention.
This reminds me again of, like, of Sherlock Holmes and the IP nightmare that is the Conan Doyle estate. I'm about to tell a story here since some of you heard it, but many of you probably haven't. Ace Attorney Chronicles is a game that is being localized in America in July of this year. It's coming out in July. And this is significant because the Ace Attorney Chronicles games are games that fans have been begging to be localized into America for years. And they are finally getting that. And you're probably wondering why that is happening now as opposed to years ago. The answer has to do, to some degree, with IP law. In the Ace Attorney Chronicles, one of the major characters is Sherlock Holmes. And while Sherlock Holmes is technically a public domain character, anyone can make a Sherlock Holmes story, the Conan Doyle estate claims to, and no one's challenged them in court yet, so until they get challenged, this is the case. Claims to own the rights to any version of Sherlock Holmes that expresses emotion, because those stories were written after Conan Doyle returned home from World War II, and where he pretty much rewrote the entirety of the Sherlock Holmes character to be much more expressive and much more humane than he was before, and less racist and sexist. And so Conan Doyle's estate claims that they own the rights to that less racist, less sexist, more humane version of Sherlock Holmes. Now, technically, that is still pending, except years ago, years before those stories were penned, a French author by the name of Maurice Leblanc created a phantom thief character, or a gentleman thief character by the name of Arsène Lupin. People who play Persona 5 will recognize that as the Arsène persona that Joker has by default. And he penned a story.
The elites just issued a general order. They're moving all ground teams to secure the tower entrance above us.
That was titled Arsène Lupin versus Sherlock Holmes. Now, Conan Doyle was still alive at the time that story was written, and he owned the IP of Sherlock Holmes, so he naturally sued Maurice LeBlanc for using his character. And in response, Maurice LeBlanc changed the story to, and I swear to God this is true, Arsène Lupin versus Sherlock Holmes, who is a completely separate character that is definitely, decidedly not Sherlock Holmes. Now, while the Conan Doyle estate still claims to own the emotional Sherlock Holmes, the one story that Sherlock Holmes ever appeared in, which was Arsène Lupin versus Sherlock Holmes, is now in public domain, and therefore the character of Sherlock Holmes is public domain. Which means in order to localize Ace Attorney Chronicles into the US, Capcom has decided the character that they were referring to is actually not Sherlock Holmes in America. It was actually Sherlock Holmes this whole time. And so because they switched the name to Sherlock Holmes, which is now in public domain in America, they are allowed to localize that game to the US without fear of facing reprisal from the Conan Doyle estate, because Sherlock Holmes is a separate character to Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, we are now able to have Eastern Chronicles come into the US. This is a completely true story. I am not making a single fact of this up. See, Kelly, that's the complication. Technically, Sherlock Holmes is a public domain figure. However, according to the Conan Doyle estate, and this has not been challenged in court yet.
Sentinels are trying to keep the Covenant out.
The character, according to Conan Doyle's estate, Sherlock Holmes, stories in which he expresses emotion and isn't racist or sexist, are still under the ownership of Doyle estate because those works were written after World War II, which was when Conan Doyle came back to it from the war, because he fought in World War II. He was a changed man, and he hated the way he took Sherlock Holmes before. And so that old stuff is public domain, but that new stuff, and I say by new I mean World War II era fiction, is not public domain. You joke, but literally that is the claim, that only the racist form of Sherlock Holmes is public domain, and the ones that where he has genuine human empathy and emotion for the people, they are not. That is what Conan Doyle's estate claimed, which is why now that Sherlock Holmes is no longer copyright, is now in the public domain. That is why you're allowed to do Sherlock Holmes fiction again, but not really Sherlock Holmes. You can do Sherlock Holmes fiction. It is one of the goofiest legal workarounds that you could possibly see, and it originates from a 20th century French author. The early bird gets the wormies.
While you were busy, I managed to clear up another transmission from Infinity.
Sounded like he said artifact.
And yes, Kelly, that is Disney's fault. So you do have a right to fucking suplex Disney lawyers.
At the top of the tower.
I should also note, this only applies to American IP. In all the rest of the world, Sherlock Holmes is full public domain. It is strictly in America where Conan Doyle estates can legally contest this. And that is why you will probably never see Joe Schmo, indie developer, develop a new Halo game. See, we tie it all together. So if you're wondering why your favorite IPs don't die and they just get milked in perpetuity until they start sucking and being shit, stuff like that is why. Disney is why. Not to say the rest of the world has great copyright laws, but they have more reasonable ones than the US does. That's correct, Kelly. That's correct.
The cathedral. This terminus is just one node of a larger transit grid that spans the entire planet.
What?
When I tried to access the outlet closest to Infinity's transmissions, the system responded with this.
What is it?
That's the kicker. It's the Forerunner symbol for Reclaimer.
Humanity. That's got to be infinity. Can you get us to those coordinates?
Let me try to open a portal.
Cortana,
I'm picking up unknown energy signatures.
where?
This can't be right.
Oh! It's the Protheans!
Set a waypoint out of the tower. Cortana?
How did... Quick! Into the portal! Chief, go!
I remember several people telling me how much they hate these enemies. And I am looking forward to figuring out why.
Some sort of advanced defense AIs. Related to the Sentinels, I'm guessing, but it's hard to say without a closer look. Come on, let's figure out where that transit system dumped us.
Where's Infinity?
This is Requiem's core, all right. But Infinity is definitely not here. That satellite in the center is amplifying the ship's broadcast like a relay.
Maybe we can use it to respond.
Perhaps. Those beams coming off it are creating the interference we've been experiencing. We'd have to take them out to contact Infinity.
Can you get us there?
Opening a gate to the first beam pylon. Pull me, and let's go.
Get my hands on one of them weapons and see what happens? Okay.
First pylon.
Negative. This is as close as I could get us. Hope you don't mind hoofing it a little.
So let's see what these new enemies are capable of.
Contacts!
Oh, they're wimps that don't want to fight. Cool.
And they're back!
There we go. Oh, hi, doggy. Bolt shot. Oh, what the fuck?
Those weren't the same things we saw in the terminals.
Similar cortical footprint as the tower AIs. They're connected, all right.
This is trippy. I like this. This is cool. Suppressor. Let's see how you fire. Oh, huh. It's a fast reload, though.
Look out!
Oh, hi! Oh, it's Skullface!
Well, he's just a ray of sunshine, isn't he? From that peek under the hood, I'd say these constructs must be mimetic in nature.
Oh, hi, you!
More of them.
Similar phasing activity at the edge of our sensors. We're about to get busy.
Uh-oh, we may be in trouble! Oh. Oh, that's not a ranged weapon at all. That's very much a mid-range. That is not a long-range rifle at all. The suppressor is definitely a very mid-range weapon. Sometimes the way to defend yourself is to get a stronger offense. Is your lust for revenge?
I've discovered
Whoo!
when the big ones explode, that momentary flash we're seeing is actually a data purge.
Can you tap into it?
So far, I've pulled multiple strings referring to the big ones as Promethean Knights.
Prometheans.
Beyond that, though, things get a bit dense.
Ah. Someone knows their mythology. Prometheans. Okay. Prometheans. I would probably use this shield more if I could shoot while I was using it. By the precursors. You know, there is some, odd timing in doing this right after Jak and Daxter the Precursor Legacy. Because we were fighting another Precursor race with technology far beyond our own. So advanced that it seems almost magical in nature. Wow, they are dropping a lot of ammo for this gun. Yeah, holy shit. Ammo for this gun is fucking plentiful. Ooh. What's a light rifle? Is that a sniper? This is a sniper. I mean, this generation, the precursors were a thing in, like, Jak and Daxter 1, which was literally 20 years ago.
The relay
I guess also the Protheans in Mass Effect,
We
but...
must be getting close to the pylon.
Like, precursor races are nothing new, or particularly, like... inspire is not the right term, but it's... nothing shocking that a franchise would want to introduce a precursor race into its fiction. Like, that's pretty common. And it was always pretty common, but yeah, I guess I could see the logic of it being this generation particularly. But I guess that's largely, like, on the fact that the Protheans and Mass Effects were a big thing, and I guess the Prometheans here. Did Gears of War have a precursor race? I don't play those games, so I need, like, people who know their Gears stuff to answer those questions for me. Well, like, aside from the Prometheans and the Protheans, I can't really think of a whole lot of precursor races that populate the games that I am familiar with from the 360 era. Oh, hi there. Die there. Scatter shot, eh? I am sure that's a shotty. The enemies aren't that bad so far. Unless the ejection to them is more lore than actual gameplay.
That's me. Something about moving through those portals is increasing the load on my systems.
Are you gonna be alright?
Don't worry. I've held off rampancy this long, haven't I?
Oh, okay, I see the problem. Lord of Admirals, Chiefo unlocked. Okay, so...
My love, put fear from your heart.
War is your realm, Didact, not mine. And you marched to this war, facing foes that, while always aggressive, were never so aggressive as they are now.
Your fears are unfounded. The enemy will be turned.
This is
I shall
ugly.
stand
These
by your
designs
side.
are ugly.
Promise me that.
I promise you.
This cutscene is ugly.
Nothing will stand between us.
Lord of Admirals.
If this is the precursor race, the precursor race sucks.
Show me.
Population numbering over 2 billion. Forerunner ships on alert and inbound.
Is it possible? Have we gotten ahead of it? Flood infestation detected, my lord. Damn it.
My lord, the infestation is in a remote locale. Perhaps if we warn the Forerunners?
If we warn them, we give the flood time to spread. You know we have no choice. Cleanse the planet.
Oh, okay. They glassed the planet because the flood was there. Okay, so I see I see how you're feeling, Kelly, because I actually don't mind these guns. I like these guns quite a bit, but I guess if you didn't like how these weapons feel, and you spend most of the game using only these weapons because they're the ones you have ammo for, I could see how that would be a problem. I mean, you could say their designs are uninspired. They're not all that different from the flood enemies, except they're easier to kill. Maybe it's just me, but and maybe I'm being able to change as I play through the game, but so far they seem fine.
That's the target, but it looks like the entrance is shielded. Let's figure out how to take it down.
Okay. Oh, I probably should have gotten lower to the ground. I think
That's the target, but it looks like the entrance is shielded. Let's figure out how to
the problem I have with this light rifle is that it feels like there is a time, like there is a second, like it travels fast, but it's not entirely hit scan. And I could see the problem. It's mostly alright, but yeah, I could see where you'd have ejections. I think it's fine, though, personally. Yeah, it's probably not going to replace a marksman rifle, but it's not a bad weapon. I guess if there was something to object to is that it feels like if you're going to add a new weapon into a Halo game, adding the standard sniper rifle, shotgun, pistol, and assault rifle, there's a different flavor of it. It's definitely an odd choice. Because you already have so many excellent weapons in this game. Or in this franchise, I should say. That if you're going to add new ones, they better be some new take on those formulas. And not just the same pistol, rifle, assault, pistol, rifle, shotgun, sniper. So in that sense, I do agree with you that, like, if you're going to make these new weapons, having them be the same thing is something of a problem. So, like, the same thing as most shooter weapons. Like, the 4 flavors of shooter weapon. Because in the rest of the Halo games before this, the humans do have those standard pistol, assault rifle, sniper rifle, shotgun. But the Covenant weapons are unique. They're not different variation. They are variations of the pistol, rifle, shotgun, and sniper rifle, but they are distinct enough from the standard model that they feel like brand new weaponry. So there is a disconnect there that I can understand, and even agree with to a significant extent. I need to get a new gun. Is there? Yeah, you'll have to do. Use a charge shot, you said? Oh, that takes 5 clips. I agree with you there, Kelly. These weapons don't, like, you don't get the same kinetic feeling that you do with other weapons with these Promethean guns. Are you gonna recharge at some point, Shields?
Well done, Chief. 1 to go.
Huh. Alright, and show him 1-4.
Great, that's all the cores. Head for the top of the pylon.
What the fuck? Okay, grenades are functionally useless against these guys. Good to know. You know, I was having fun when they were giving me a bunch of assault rifle ammunition, but now that I'm out of it, this is not as fun. There we go. Give me my suppressor. Peace, love of God, stand still. There we go. I noticed the flying guys were kept giving them shields that I couldn't kill that flying guy, so my only option was to kind of see if I could kill the other guy, and that wasn't working out. Huh. Okay. I'm making good progress, it looks like. I hear this game is pretty short by Halo standards. And Halo standards are not that long. So, curious how long this is going to take in terms of recordings.
Chief, look at this. That's Requiem. They're not inside at all. They're moving into orbit.
That amount of ammo was not worth me keeping that weapon. I keep forgetting I have a sprint button because I'm so used to playing Halo without it.
Did he say forward unto dawn?
They must have intercepted our distress beacon.
The beacon was pulled into Requiem with us. They try to follow it.
They'll get caught in the gravity well. I'll keep trying to warn them. You just get that beam down.
Oops. Oopsie doopsie, made a fucky wucky.
That's the beam control. It's working. The signal from the relay is starting to clear up.
Nice.
They haven't hit the gravity well yet.
There's still too much interference to warn them. We've
got-
got to disable that other beam before they're pulled in like we were.
We sure do.
I was wondering why Infinity hadn't encountered the Covenant yet.
What are they doing here?
They're heading to the second pylon as well.
That can't be a coincidence.
Sounds like the Prometheans don't want the Covenant here either. The BattleNet's already lighting up with reports of resistance all around the pylon.
So the Infinity is the Covenant ship? I thought it was a human ship. I was paying attention. Thought I was. I didn't realize the Infinity was the Covenant ship's name. So... Oh, we can let them kill each other. Alright, let's take their vehicle. I am happy to let them kill each other and not kill me.
The relay's signal is breaking up again. We're almost to the beach. They found the opening. We better get
Uh-oh.
that relay and fast.
I actually enjoy the Halo's reliance on interfaction gameplay, like seeing multiple enemy factions fighting each other instead of you. That is a really cool thing that more developers need to do. Because it adds so much texture to the world. Like, unironically enjoy when they do that.
Power core down.
Like, that
Still online.
scene in Halo 2
Take out the other two power cores and we can access the pylon.
where, the, elites and the brutes were having at it in the Covenant's homeworld. I live for that shit. I live for, the political infighting between factions, giving the player an opening to play around with, their enemies and see how they can exploit, their conflict to their advantage. I love mechanics like that. And admittedly, it's kind of primitive, because eventually, like, they are still going to try to kill you, ultimately, because they're all your enemies. It's cool. It's a cool thing to see.
That'll do it. Shield should be down. Get up to that beam.
Sorry, had to moderate the chat a little bit. Had to moderate chat cheese. Oh, okay. Honestly, my fault for bringing a vehicle this high up. Oh, I was getting greedy. I'm gonna have to start killing folk, looks like. Bummer. Well, if you're gonna stand in my way, I might as well slaughter you. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, let's try the tactic of don't let them get close. Oh, that works. There's one of you. Bye-bye. Shame that the Covenant kind of just...
Reading a faint IFF tag near the planetary core. Do you read?
The planet's core? They know we're here. Infinity, this is UNSC AI Cortana. Do not approach Forerunner planet. Repeat, do not approach...
UNSC asset. Board unto dawn. We read you, but you're breaking up. Help. Increase speed by 0.7. Get us in there.
Negative, Infinity. Do not enter the planet.
If you can hear us, keep transmitting.
No, Chief, you've got to get that beam down now.
We're about to, Cortana. Hold your tits.
Cortana to Infinity. Do you copy? Come in, Infinity. The interference is gone, but your suit's transmitter's not strong enough.
Move us up to the relay satellite.
What do you mean it's not strong enough? We were fucking talking.
Once we're on the satellite, there's bound to be a central control point.
The Covenant are moving towards the relay too.
This doesn't make any sense. Why would they care about a broadcast relay?
I'll handle them. You just find us that control node. How soon till Infinity hits the gravity well?
A minute or two max. The Covenant are making a push for something on the far side of the satellite.
It is the Traveler from Destiny, holy shit, yeah. Oh. Keep going up. Where is Dinklebot? I need to know where the wizards come from.
Chief, you need to hear this.
Detecting slight gravimetric disturbance near the planetary entrance. Suggest altering approach vector 43K-750K-12K.
They're not diverting from the opening. Hurry, Chief.
We're going, we're moving, we're grooving, we're moving.
Infinity, this is Sierra 117 of the UNSC forward unto dawn. Do you copy?
Affirmative, this is Sierra 117.
Uh-oh.
Infinity, do you read?
This is not good. This is some evil or mystical bullshit.
Chief, let go of the contacts.
Find us an exit.
Don't wait around on my account.
I like that Cortana's voice is still distorting. Like, it's not like there's something you're doing for dramatic effect certain moments. It's something that happens over the course of her conversations. Uh-oh, something came out of the sun. The dark sun. What the fuck is that? Oh, is that one of the ugly things we saw in that cutscene earlier? Is this Bahamut coming out of Dalamud? Okay.
So fades the great harvest of my betrayal.
Who the fuck are you? Diadect. Okay. The Diadect.
Even these beasts recognize what you were oblivious to, human. Your nobility has blinded you, as ever.
How? Oh.
The librarian left little to chance, didn't she? turning my own guardians, my own world, against me. But what hubris to believe she could protect her pets from me forever. If you haven't mastered even these primitives, then man has not attained the mantle. Your ascendants.
Congratulations, you have definitely used a bunch of words.
Time was your ally, human. But now it has abandoned you. The foreigners have returned.
Oh, cool, you have a skull mask.
Is now yours.
A villain with speech, delusions of grandeur, and a skull mask. Where have I seen this before?
Chief, please. We've got to go. That didact, he manipulated Infinity's signal to get us to release him. Get up!
What's happening?
Moving to satellite. He stabilized the core.
Uh-oh! You're gonna be in trouble!
We've got to find a portal out of here before the whole network collapses.
Assuming direct control.
Grab one of those ghosts. Hang on. I'm going to channel energy from your shields to overdrive the ghost.
Oh, great! Another Halo escape sequence. When have these ever gone good? Yeah, I guess there's a ghost this time and not a warthog. And the ghost does... Oh, nope. Ghost also kind of controls like shit. But it's faster. Now... Yes. I mean, this is definitely an escape sequence. Probably going on a little overly long, if I'm being honest. Like, this... I've already gotten kind of bored. And they haven't really done anything to shake up the mechanics here. Like, there's much that we can do to shake up the mechanics, but, like, if you're gonna, like, do anything like this, making it this long is not advisable. Yeah, there's not even, like, any music to make the thing seem, the stakes seem more tense. It's just it's just silence.
Whoa, cowboy!
That's a disappointing escape sequence. Not hard, but disappointing. They finally got him right at the end of Halo 3.
Chief, there!
Mayday, mayday! This is the captain of the UNSC Infinity. Unknown entity has seized control of our ship. We're without power. On a collision course with an unidentified Forerunner planet.
Now we have a human faction of presumably soldiers that we're going to be able to interact with at some point.
Track its descent.
Marking. Impact predicted 77.8 kilometers due north.
Look! It's darkness. It's the evil. The evil's getting away.
Same place we are.
Yes, the badness, Xenochrist. The darkness, the bad guy. The bad guy is going to the thing where the people dropped. And now we're following the thing.
Recon sortie heading this way.
I hope whatever goal the Diadect has is
That's only because the
interesting.
wanted it that way. This is Sierra 117 of the UNSC Forward Under Dawn. We're on station, ready to assist.
Signal's bouncing in and out. I can't clean it up.
Light up their friend or foe tags. We're gonna need something to zero in on.
Let's hope these human guys are interesting.
Painting the closest one.
Interesting they start us off with the assault rifle and the pistol with every single chapter.
Personally.
Infinity to Commander Lasky. We've lost contact with your Pelicans. Report in.
They must not have received his distress call.
So interesting starting out with an AR and a pistol every time, even though... Well, let's see how good the pistol is in this game, because it could be a good or a bad Halo pistol. We'll find out in a second.
One of them's an officer. Check his IFF tag. The tag IDs him as Jimenez Paolo J.
Then Lasky's still out there somewhere.
Let's keep going. Hopefully we find someone to shoot. Good gun. Good gun. No, honestly, the human weapons sound perfect. It's the Covenant weapons that were the problem. And honestly, the Forerunner / Promethean weapons, they also kind of sound weak compared to the human weapons. Yeah, the human weapons in this game, the sound is so satisfying. That bang is, whew, that's powerful. You can almost hear the bullet impact the enemy with that very audible thud. I'm getting used out of them now, though, Kelly. So I'll take it while it lasts. Get some pretty good headshots with this DMGR. Shame that it's running a little low on ammo, so I had to switch out. If it had more ammo, I would have kept using it. Oh well. Magnum is not worth even considering. Oh, what is this? Shotgun. Why even put a scope on a mid-range weapon? Oh, this is doing the. This is the juice. This is the juice. I didn't know what you meant where the Covenant and human weapons don't sound great, Kelly, until I started playing with the human weapons more, and like, man, that sound, that boom, boom, boom with each shot, that is a powerful sound. That is a feels good to use. Binary rifle.
Hold up. What was that he dropped on the ground over there?
Promethean. Wait, what the fuck? I have detective mode now?
This is what they've been using to see through the fog.
This Magnum is doing some work too, actually. All right. Doing pretty good. I could take the Alessandria Promethean Vision. I think the Provision is actually probably more useful because I've been using it. Now let's see. I saw a light rifle here as well. We'll keep with the suppressor for now.
We've got another IFF on the far side of this thicket.
Alright, another person.
We should get eyes out there looking for the others.
Peters, you heard Commander Lasky.
DFB, ma'am. Bulldogs, on me. We're going for a walk.
No gun on you?
Lasky's been through here. Recently by the timestamp.
Bummer. These Promethean dogs are not particularly intimidating enemies. Or I'm gonna die to them and look like a fucking moron. Okay, the Magnum is actually a good Magnum. This is a good Magnum for this game. Alright. Yeah, this is pretty Detective Vision-y.
I've got another IFF tag, but as far as I can tell, we're moving into a choke point. This may end up as a dead end. These guys, their headshot window is pretty wide. Makes them easy to kill. You know, these zombies, they're easy to kill. Kind of fun, too. That's the friend or foe tag, but where's whoever it belongs to? Multiple IDs. Chief, they're friendlies.
Perfect. And at this cutscene, we're going to end the stream.
Afraid we're going to have to give you an IOU on that welcome home party. Tom Lasky, first officer of the Infinity. Never thought I'd see you again.
Seal her up. I thought you'd be taller.
Commander!
Let me guess, she's some sort of Spartan. Given the power armor. Maybe they're all...
Infinity, this is Commander Lasky. The Helkin recon teams are down. Repeat, all birds are down. We got numerous casualties and require immediate assistance. Over.
Vital. Did you get the coordinates to that gravity well?
Affirmative, sir, but we're gonna need a bus out of here.
Make it happen.
You were sent on a scouting run in the middle of an attack on the ship.
The captain thought Infinity could provide us cover and hold off the attack at the same time.
Sir, we'll never get the wounded back to the ship on foot.
I don't know if it's too soon to ask you for a favor, but we're gonna run out of breathing room here real quick.
I think it is Spartan 4. Kelly is the new generation of Spartans, the newest generation.
All clear once the area is secured.
I did some little bit of research on my
A
own.
topographical scan of the area shows a break in the foliage north.
Great, Cortana. Great. We're gonna save and quit, and I kind of want to see how far we got in this first this first round. 4 out of 10 completed. So we got a little under halfway. That's encouraging. But with that, we're going to head out for tonight. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Xenochrist. Thank you, Cody, for joining me on this. And whoever else joined in, because I know there are a couple people who didn't take part in the chat, and that's fine. I don't want to force anyone to take part in chat if they don't want to. I don't know if we'll be able to do this next week because I am on call for work. But if we do, it'll be a little later than usual. And with that said, wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, get vaccinated. I am vaccinated. I am going to always encourage vaccinations. Vaccines are good. Vaccines allow life to happen. Unless you're smallpox, in which case vaccines let you die, which you should die because you're smallpox. Black lives matter. Trans lives matter. All lives cannot matter until black and trans lives matter. Have a great day, and I will see you next week.